Hello, water signs, Scorpio, Cancer, and Pisces. Welcome to my channel, Tarot by the Intuitive Teacup. This is going to be a general message for the water signs this week. Please come into the reading with an open heart, an open mind, a desire to learn something to better yourself. If you don't walk away from these messages feeling motivated, empowered, inspired, or at least having some food for thought, maybe to chew over, whatever the expression is, it might not be your message this week. It might not resonate at this time, so feel free to check back in the future. But highly encourage you to only take away the messages that do resonate with you, that fit your circumstance or scenario. Please release the rest. You are accountable and responsible for all your own actions and decisions. Let's do it for the water signs. You had a flip over. What was that? What does the tarot want to tell the water signs? Judgment. All right. So judgment is all about circling back to the past, clearing out the closet, resetting the scales, however you want to say it. Very much Scorpionic energy, Pluto energy, which is about death and then rebirth, transformation. I actually just heard transmitting, so I'm not sure if you're maybe that's like more of in a spiritual sense, like putting the vibe out, putting something out into the ethers to have it, I don't know, manifest in your life. Let's see, what is this about? It's like my water signs is like you're finding your family, but it's not by blood, it's your soul family. It's finding like-minded, like-hearted people out in the world, and there's a link or a commonality, a connection of sort of finding yourself in the form of another person. And for some of you, this message comes through a lot. It's not about finding your other half. I really am a big believer in this message, because I think if we go out into the world thinking like, oh, I'm broken, I need my other half to complete me, that's a really difficult kind of burden to carry, because no one is ever going to make you feel complete. You have to find that internally, inside of yourself. That's a very harsh lesson for, a lot of us out there, right? Certainly not everybody, but there's something here where finding a group of people that, again, feels like your soul tribe or your soul family, it may have to do with going back to the past, though. And maybe it's finding some sort of closure for not feeling supported by your own family growing up. And it was for a very important purpose, which sometimes it's really hard to be in the moment and see that, but with time, and if you guys start to reflect, I think you're going to realize that had you not had sort of, I'm not saying no support system, but some sort of maybe shaky or unstable support system, you never would have found the tribe of people out in the world somewhere that you're meant to connect with. And again, it's on a very deep spiritual soul level. I feel like a lot of my water signs are going to be meeting people, especially mentors, even in the form of friends, right? It doesn't have to be quite literally professors and teachers, but spiritual mentors in a sense that make you realize things about yourself, and they're transformational relationships in your life. Is my deck upside down? They're all messed up. All right, we'll take them as they came then. So you have the Empress in reverse. Some of you really went through some sort of struggle because there was a rejection from a mother figure, or not feeling like you had a strong maternal figure in your life. And that could be for many reasons, right? There could have been more of a constraint in terms of the emotional capacity to give from a mother. It could have been maybe a scenario where there was adoption, and so there was confusion about the mother and what role that person played in your life or didn't play. Or it could have been someone that you had lost in your life, right? And so again, there was maybe an absence or a disappearance or something to do with the mother figure. And that may have also manifested in the form of having some sort of struggle with money or body issues, very like Venus type energy. And then you have the Fool in the reverse. I actually think this message is really beautiful, because to me there's something, if this is your message, if it resonates, right? There was something about going out into the world always searching for that mother figure, that maternal energy, and the whole epiphany, the awakening, the judgment, the I finally get it, the light bulb moment, is that this was an opportunity for you to learn to nurture yourself. And it's not about looking at it being like, oh, it's not fair, why didn't I have this and everybody else did? I get it, but more or less that's a waste of energy. It's sort of about understanding sort of the hand you were dealt, and not only making the most of it, not only accepting it, but sort of like, I'm getting like almost 2.0, or ramping it up to be even better than what was initially thought or perceived. I don't know what it is. It's almost like a soul awakening or some sort of like soul revolution message here about something that you lacked. And again, if it wasn't a mother, it could have been something with money or self-love, self-respect. You went out on a mission into the world because this is very important. It couldn't be found at home. With this sort of idea of the mother or something that is familiar, the womb, where you came from, your roots. This feels very Cancerian, so I don't know if a lot of Cancers are watching this. There's some message here, but you had to go out into the world to find it. And again, that's when you encounter sort of like-minded individuals or people who experience the same sort of plight or frustration that you did, but within that commonality or bond, you provide each other what you needed. And really what it is, though, is you help each other to realize that it existed inside of you. Cue the cheesy music, but also that's like a really beautiful message. I dig that. So yeah, if that is your message, that seems really beautiful and really positive. Some of you may end up reconnecting with a Taurus, possibly a Libra in the coming weeks. I'm not sure if that's significant to you, but very strong Venus energy there. Venus is moving through Capricorn, and it is about to go retrograde until I think I want to say until maybe next year, like early January or late December. So Venus being the planet of relations and balance and harmony, that's what I mean. There's something about two people coming together and helping to sort of balance each other out, but to offer something to one another. And so maybe it does have to do with some earthy energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. If you have planets in that energy, if maybe you're seeking friendship or partnership with earth energy, there's something about that could be quite not only compatible, but I never want to overhype these, but something very powerful, something very transformational about that person in your life. You guys may be entering some sort of new cycle or chapter together, but there is a revisit to the past. Because this is the Judgment card is one before the World. The World is all about like the final culmination, the completion. It's like you had to go back and check something out one more time, almost like go a little bit deeper than you did before so that you can come up to the surface and it's like, perfect, right? You can walk out of the ocean, right? And it's the dawning of a new day. There's light on your face. You can take a deep breath. There's oxygen. There's nourishment. There's this revival. There's this feeling of going out into the world and having this new perspective. All right. Anyway, anything else I can tell? Actually, let's do this. I don't know why. I just feel called to pull these. I'm not gonna lie, I hate getting reversals. I just get too in my head about it because I read duality for each card anyway, so I'm kind of like, I don't know. Anyway, that's just me. Let's see. Gemini, the butterfly. Curious, communicative, versatile, flexible, variety-seeking, social, collaborative, brilliant, perceptive, connected, vocal, adaptive, street smart, mobile, studious, superficial, restless, and fidgety. I don't remember if I already said this on my channel or not, but I had read something recently that struck a chord with me, and I think I told a couple of my Gemini friends. But there's sometimes this feeling for Geminis. This is similar to what I said to you guys, but sometimes there's this feeling in Gemini where you go out into the world searching for the twin. So if this doesn't have to do with a mother, this could have to do with a sibling as well, or some sort of absent family member, for, again, a multitude of reasons. But again, it's that message of going out searching for the other twin and feeling half complete when really the duality exists within, right? It's the inner twins. And I mean, Gemini has so much to do with linking and exchanging and connecting with ideas and thoughts and exchanging stories. I think that's a really important message for my water signs this week, is share your story. Because there might be this sort of newfound confidence in being able to express something that you previously sort of were shy or felt inhibited because it was a source of either pain or shame or embarrassment. But all the more reason to get it out there to find your soul tribe, to find your soul fam out there. Your bravery in expressing something quite emotionally turbulent that you went through already. It's connecting you to someone who, it's like they need you. Your calling is almost like a domino effect to other people to come out, either express something or just to bond, to relate, to experience something together and not make it this scary monster of, oh my God, it's just me and why am I such a weirdo or why do I feel this way? It takes it off that pedestal of being a monster. It's just a thing you had to deal with. But you know what? Other people did too. And I don't mean to say that in like a condescending, like, you're not special, sweetheart, right? That's not what I'm saying. I hope you guys understand. There's power in numbers. There's strength in numbers. Jupiter, expansion. Enthusiasm, optimism, generosity, benevolence, belief, luck, seeking travel, positivity, lectures, foreign culture, teaching, pilgrimage, chance, expansion, leaping, exploration, and potential. Some of you may join some sort of group that, again, the vibe of the group, it's like you finally found your home. You found your people. You feel at home with these people, even if it's potentially overseas or in some sort of area or territory or... And I don't even mean that in like the literal land and property sense, but it's opening you up to sort of get out of your comfort zone. That's sort of what I'm saying. The opposite of Saturn, which is kind of imposing or restricting, Jupiter's like, go out there and do it. And it's going to be fun. Be optimistic. There's pleasure and enjoyment here. Roll the dice on this person. It might actually be quite surprising in a really beautiful way. And I love that rainbow's there too. That speaks to me very much of inclusivity. Maybe some of you struggled with your sexuality, or maybe you felt very restricted because of whatever, something to, maybe it had to do with feeling like you were rejected because of your race or because of your religion or something, that it was just, you were born into it. You didn't necessarily have a choice, but ultimately you did have to find your way in the world with that thing that did make you different or special. You're starting to discover that there's a whole group of you out there that can support one another. All right, I'm going to leave that message there. We're going to do one more quick one. I hope that helps someone who needed to hear it. Let's see. I'm doing okay for time. All right, let's do this deck. This is one of my favorite decks. I just think it's so cute. Anything else the water signs need to hear this week? Anything else the water signs need to hear? The Emperor. Boss mode. All right, you got a lot of Mars energy. You got Scorpio and Aries showing up maybe. Again, you had the Death card, or you had Judgment before and then Death cards, so similar to sort of that transformational idea. And then the Chariot, so some Cancerian energy. So Scorpio and Cancer are definitely showing up to this reading. Pisces, you might be here somewhere. I did use Mermaid Tarot, which I think is very Piscean by nature, so... All right, so you have 3 major arcana. Great in terms of these are big, heavy-hitting players, important energies, big events, people coming into your life. Because of just simply what they are, they don't tell me as much about the storyline. So these could be 3 different people on a team, Cancer, Scorpio, and Aries. It doesn't have to be. I'm going to kind of give you a gist of what each card is, and you can maybe implement that into your life where you see fit. The Emperor is Aries energy. So of the zodiac, Aries is the start, right? It's the initiator of action. It's the birth of sort of a new seed. It's very energetic. It's very passionate. It's enthusiastic. It's a seeker. Aries is frequently fascinated with what is challenging. They're a risk taker. They're someone who takes a lot of chances. And someone who isn't afraid to sort of assert themselves in any sort of situation. It's important for them to find a challenge that is worth their time. Otherwise, they can sort of manifest this combative attitude with life, but just for the purpose of being contrarian, or that's not really the right word, but for the purposes of being argumentative. Versus if they can channel sort of that fascination with difficulty and actually find something to get behind that is worthy of their time and worthy of this passion and expression and the way they sort of thrust themselves into it. This is a person who can achieve great standing in a company, in a household, in a relationship, in any sort of group of people. Some of you are going to be... I actually see this particular card as very corporate with all these city buildings in the back. So if some of you are gunning for something, you may end up moving to the city to take some sort of strong leadership role. Mars energy is very separating. So again, it's someone who's in maybe like the leader or the top tier, someone who really does want to be number one. And with that, again, I would encourage you, if this is making sense, if you're this character, compete with yourselves. Don't look at everybody else as your competitor. There's nothing wrong with healthy competition by all means, but it's about achieving your best for you. I hope that makes sense. Otherwise, this can be a card where you can aggravate those around you, again, if you're not putting that energy into sort of the high vibration of what the Emperor is. But in a sense, it does say go to war. Take it seriously. It's not a time to sit and be lazy and rest on your laurels. You got to go after it. If you want it, I'm hearing like you can taste it. You can taste it. It's almost like the firing of a gun and the race begins. That's sort of what the Emperor is to me, especially here. And I'm actually getting something about sweat. I don't know if you're going to invite, but okay, so maybe for some of you it's like a sports competition or I don't know, a new exercise thing or something athletic. I'm actually getting the idea of sweat or perspiring. Like it's a race, but you're in it, and so you're like, I got to get my head in the game. Here I go. So then we have the Death card, so Scorpio energy. Scorpio is fixed water, so we can kind of think of it in terms of like the iceberg, right? There's a lot below, underneath that we don't always see. We just see a little bit of it. But it's very powerful. Scorpios are sort of the sorcerers of the zodiac, or the mystics, the transformers. And with that, there is a similar, because these are both ruled by Mars, there is the idea of whatever they are choosing to transform, there is a sense of rejection of the old or what doesn't work anymore. But it's taking those ideas or those concepts and either separating it or putting it into some sort of form that makes sense for where you or this person is at in their life right now. Let's pull something on that. I'm sort of intrigued by that. I see this as a bridesmaid or I don't know, something with like a floral or a flower crown. I don't know if there could be a proposal if you guys are transforming into maybe this Mars kind of singlehood. There could be something where you're forming some sort of very strong collaboration. Scorpios have a lot to do with joint finances versus sort of the entrepreneurial side of this. There could be an opportunity for my water signs out there to join some sort of team or partnership. Again, similar to your first message here, but trying for something else. Some of you guys may end up going back to a job that you quit or separated from, or there could have been a layoff. I don't know why I'm getting that. I just am. Something about a career and it transforms, but the way this person is headed backwards to the past, Scorpio is indicative of the past. You may end up working for a similar company or joining forces with a coworker that you worked with previously. And then you have the Six of Pentacles. So reciprocity is the Six of Pentacles. It's a very positive card. It's related to Moon and Taurus. So the idea of having what you need to nourish yourself and to seek pleasure. There are 2 people in this card as opposed to 3. So that whole thing of joint finances and merging, I like that. I like that a lot. You get what you give. Some of you seem to be questioning if you have the time or the energy to give to this relationship. And the thing is, I can see it going both ways, and it's obviously going to be a personal decision for all of you out there. I do think this has huge potential to transform in a very beautiful way. The moon is exalted in Taurus, right? It feels good, and it provides what you need. I think that's important. But with that, some of you may choose to go rogue. There's a very strong independent streak. And maybe that's true for both parties, right? Maybe the Death card, if it doesn't represent Scorpio, maybe it represents the merging of maybe someone who has strong Cancer in their chart or someone who has strong Aries or Mars. I don't know. I'm just saying that for example. But even if that's the case, I don't know. I could see this coming together very nicely, or I could see both people questioning like, I like this, but is it providing me everything I need, or do I need to go off and explore things elsewhere before I commit to this? Well, let's see. Let's ask the romance angels if this is in fact romantic. For others of you, again, it might be career. Playfulness, recapture romance, recapture. That to me always says it may have existed before. Maybe it was, years ago or in a previous lifetime. We'll see. To recapture romance, allow your inner youthful spirit of fun to shine. That's something I should mention about, especially Aries. There's a very strong streak of sort of youthfulness. The first 4 zodiac signs are very much associated with youth. So Aries, Taurus, which we do have here, Gemini, and Cancer. Not that the other signs aren't. I mean, of course, in certain ways, we could always look at that, but especially the first 4 signs. And I guess I would say Leo as well. What else? I didn't get into my Chariot card. Maybe we'll end with that. Anything else? Make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. This could have been someone you knew in your childhood. An unusual but really cute, beautiful depiction of the Six of Pentacles. There's children here, and there's only two. So I kind of love that we don't have to deal with all the third-party bullshit. I'm so sick of reading for that, guys. I can't even lie. I'm not judging you. I'm not shaming you. I'm not faulting you. Just, it gets old reading for that. Like, have you ever heard a tarot reader be like, oh, I see third-party, and guys, it looks good. Like that, you know? Like, the minute someone's like, oh, it could be a third party, like, everyone feels deflated, right? Anyway. All right, here we go. Last but not least, let's talk a little bit about this. The Chariot is typically representing Cancerian energy. It's a lucky card. It represents victory. Cancerians have a very close connection to home, typically to the mother figure. They're ruled by the moon. But wherever you have Cancer in your chart is an area of your life or a category, or however you want to say it, where you may experience a lot of fluctuation, specifically a lot of fluctuation in mood. Like one day you feel this way and the next day you feel the different way. The reason being you respond emotionally to that environment. So if you have a Cancer in, your 6th house of everyday work, your pattern of your work style and your daily routine may fluctuate. It's also the idea of the nurturing mother. So whether you're male or female, if you have Cancer in the 10th house or something, your reputation or how you earn your living or sort of your legacy may be viewed in a way that it's like you were the mother or the midwife or the kind person, the one who was sensitive, the one who was able to emote and respond to the emotional needs of others. Something that I've read recently about Cancer that I just thought was fascinating is the idea of facing rejection. Again, your messages are so repeated. And again, this could go out to any of my water signs. I'm just specifically focusing on the Cancerian energy here. But some of you may have a Cancer moon, a Cancer rising, whatever. Cancers frequently grow up in an environment that is not always the most inclusive and, warm and fuzzy. Let's talk about our feelings. And again, it's that similar purpose because they're meant to go out in the world and kind of find their soul family, as I said. So we think of Cancer as being, the soft and sweet and, the tough exterior, the crab to sort of protect what they love, but on the inside, they're a ball of mush. That doesn't come easily. I think a lot of you out there might relate to this. It's like, it's not always great being a Cancer, right? But the negative manifestation of that is sort of wallowing in the misery and how difficult it is and this and that. And understanding, with the crab shell, the crabby pincers, what you should hold on to versus what you should release. Sometimes we end up holding on to the wrong things out of fear for not having security, but the irony is what we're holding on to isn't what's going to give us security, especially on an emotional level. So with that, there may be a need to move away from the home or move away from family. And some of you may have had a delightful family and a delightful experience growing up, right? Again, these are just general messages, but I do see you guys sort of having to distance yourself from the family to take advantage of whatever this opportunity is. Maybe it has to do with work. Maybe it has to do with moving in with your partner or possibly getting engaged or taking some sort of major step into whatever this new cycle is. I don't know, something about the look on her face feels sort of, not ambivalent, what is the word? Unsure. Half in, half out. With this card coming through, I would say lean into your courage. You're not wrong in sort of feeling a little bit insecure or fearful because this is something new. This is a game changer. But what do they say? Courage is not the absence of fear. It's like working through it. That's what I would say. This is meeting this challenge head on. Going face to face with it and not leaning into fear holding you back. Again, that's Saturn, which I guess what I was getting to in a roundabout way is opposing Cancer, right? Capricorn energy. So anyway, I'm just putting it out there. There may be a need to explore, expand away from your roots, from what is familiar. Go out into the world and see what you find because I think you might be surprised. All right, water signs, that's what I got for you. Romance might be looking good. It may start off small, but I think this could potentially grow over time, but I wouldn't judge a book by its cover. I would give this the benefit of the doubt. You have some very strong, very big cards coming through. All right, Scorpio, Cancer, Pisces, thank you for joining me here today. I will see you very soon for more tarot. Bye, guys.